In this lesson, we will be learning how to balance chemical equations and how to determine what type of chemical reaction the equation is. At the end of this video, there will be a short quiz over balancing and chemical reactions, so be sure to take notes while watching. To begin this lesson, let's review the law of conservation of mass. All chemical equations must reflect on the law of conservation of mass, which means that the mass of the reactants must be equal to the mass of the product. This is where balancing an equation comes in. Balancing chemical equations can be hard. In this section of the video, I will teach you how to balance chemical equations. This is an unbalanced chemical equation. How do we get it balanced, you ask? Let me show you. Let me show you the process. You make a little table for each side of the equation. This side of the this side of the equation and this side of the equation. On this side of the equation, let's write all of the compounds that we have. And let's do the same for this side. My handwriting's not that pretty, but bear with me. Alright, on this side we have one calcium, and on this side we have one calcium. The calciums are balanced. On this side of the equation, we have two hydroxides. And on this side, we have three. For aluminum, we have two aluminum, and on this side, we have one aluminum. And sulfate, we have three sulfate, and on this side, one sulfate. Let's make another version of the equation down here with little lines in front of it so you can put the numbers there. So now, both our calciums are balanced, but our hydroxides are unbalanced. We have 2 on this side and 3 on this side. What's the common denominator of 2 and 3? It's 6. So, 2 times 3 is 6, so we'll put a 3 here. Now on this side we'll have 3 calcium and 6 hydroxides, and 2 here, since 2 times 3 is 6. Then we'll have 6 hydroxides, and now we have 2 aluminum. So now our calciums are unbalanced. So on this side, let's put a 3 in front. So now we both have 3 calciums, and now we have 3 on this side. So now our equation is balanced. Since we have nothing here, you can just put a 1 or leave it blank. Now, that's how to balance a chemical equation. Was that so hard? Now that we know how to balance chemical equations, let's review the different types of chemical reactions. This is so, after you balance the chemical equation, you'll know what type of chemical reaction the equation is. There are 5 different chemical reactions: synthesis, single displacement, double displacement, decomposition, and combustion. A synthesis reaction is when 2 or more compounds join together to form a completely new compound. For example, the 2 compounds A plus B come together to make the new compound C. A single displacement is when a metallic solid replaces a metallic ion in solution and there is a precipitant that forms. In other words, the single compound C takes place of A, which is why we call this a single replacement compound. A single displacement is when a metallic solid replaces a metallic ion in solution and there is a precipitant that forms. In other words, the single compound C takes place of A, which is why we call this a single replacement compound. A double replacement is when 2 aqueous compounds react together and switch places, which means that in the compound AB plus CD, D replaces B and B replaces D. A single displacement is when a metallic solid replaces a metallic ion in solution and there is a precipitant that forms. In other words, the single compound C takes place of A, which is why we call this a single replacement compound. A single displacement is when a metallic solid replaces a metallic ion in solution and there is a precipitant that forms. In other words, the single compound C takes place of A, which is why we call this a single replacement compound. A double replacement is when 2 aqueous compounds react together and switch places, which means that in the compound AB plus CD, D replaces B and B replaces D. A combustion reaction is when an organic compound or something with carbon in it reacts with oxygen and always produces carbon dioxide and water. For example, propane is a combustion reaction. Now that we know the different types of chemical reactions, now we can figure out what kind of chemical reactions a chemical equation is. Look at the chemical equation we balanced earlier. Now that it's balanced, it's time to figure out what chemical reaction it is. So, sulfate replaces hydroxide. What chemical reaction is when 2 compounds react and replace each other? Well, basically flip-flop. If you said a displacement, you're correct. Now look at this equation. Is it balanced? Well, let's see. Let's write down H and our O's, well, and our SO's. So now we have 2 H's on this side, and as we can see we have 3 O's on this side, and so that means there's 4 sulfate on this side and 4 sulfate on this side. So the equation is balanced. What type of chemical reaction is it when 2 compounds form another? If you said synthesis, you're correct. Hopefully during this video you took notes, learned how to balance equations, and how to name the different types of reactions. These subjects can be hard for many chemistry students, but hopefully my video helps you. Now it's time for the end of video quiz.
It's quiz time!
Pause the video and balance the following equation. If you got, then you're correct. What kind of chemical reaction would this be? If you said combustion, you're correct. Pause the video and balance the following equation for question 2. If you got then you're correct. What kind of chemical reaction would this be? If you said single displacement, then you are correct. For question 3, pause the following video and balance the equation. If you got, then you are correct. What type of chemical reaction would this be? If you said decomposition, then you're correct. Thank you for watching my video. Hopefully the contents in this video will help you in your chemistry course.